welcome to episode 553 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
No Glennie again. Fuck me. This can't. No, Glennie is indisposed this evening with his wife, I believe. There's surgery going on, I think, to finally give her the use of her legs back so that she may beat a fucking hasty escape.
Jesus Christ.
No. Or look, or it was just an elaborate scheme by Glennie not to not to come back on the show.
I tell you, if nothing else, points for believability. A family member has a medical episode and I need to be there to support them is a fucking plausible theory. It's not, I have suppliers and the only time these suppliers will meet with people in Australia is in their home country's time zone. So I must take business meetings at 9 p.m.
Yeah, but also like this why you say why you're correct in saying it is believable. I mean, the other thing to remember is that I'm just going to try and like he sent that through on Sunday afternoon, and that's after Sunday morning losing his fucking shit on you in our text message thread. I mean, I'll tell you, he was sending texts like I imagine Ricky Stewart sends texts. I mean, he wasn't sending you anything via SMS. I mean, he was sending you straight up texts. Like,
there were dot points and everything.
Oh yeah, like little emojis, like tick tick tick. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They're not only dot points, they were completed dot points.
Yeah. It's like he just had all this shit in the chamber, ready to go.
But in all seriousness, we wish Mrs. Glennie the very best for a speedy recovery.
Yes.
And
even speedier escape.
And we hope that you have all the support that you require after the bandages come off and you can see.
Yes. Now, you promised me, given the fact that there's not going to be any C-grade touch updates tonight, you promised me news.
There has been a little bit of news, and by that I mean stuff that has been confirmed, not just, rumoured or due to happen or people are alluding to, and it's mainly around player movements.
Okay.
So the first news item, the Titans have signed Wallabies fly half Carter Gordon.
And my response to that when I first heard it was,
Who? What's a fly half? Is that something to do with fishing?
I fucking know. Why are you asking me? Nobody knows the answer to these questions.
Jesus.
What's the name of the guy who fucking uses the broom in fucking curling? I don't know. I mean, it's about the same profile.
Well, look, if it's not called the sweeper, that sport's as fucking stupid as everyone thinks it is.
Look, I mean, I reckon there's a fair chance that the guy is called the sweeper, if we're being honest.
We are talking about a fucking sport called curling, where the idea is to make the fucking thing go straight. So they're not off to a crash hot start.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, look, I mean, that guy, he looks like he's Tanner Boyd's twin brother, and maybe that's what fucking got him over the line, I don't know, but look, it's good to see one going back the other way, and it makes a lot of sense with the Rebels ceasing existence in Melbourne, and the sport dying, mercifully dying a death, as it deserves to. Look, we'll see. That's literally the only thought. The first thought I had was who, and the second thought was, oh, all right, I guess we'll see. I mean, presumably the Titans have identified the fact that they can't run two hookers in their halves indefinitely, and Kieran Foran's obviously got a shelf life and also fairly injury prone since he left Manly. So yeah, I guess they're trying to find someone who can step up and fill the void left by Toby Sexton.
Yeah. I'll tell you, if nothing else, he does seem to be fairly articulate, best case, and at worst case, has just fucking shut up and said exactly what the PR company has told him to say.
Okay,
Because
I literally didn't read anything past like the caption or the thumbnail with his name and it was going to Titans. So
well,
you
he's
have to fill
just
me in.
he said, I'm excited with the direction rugby league is taking and the positive feeling around the game. So he's hit the code, right? At 23, I feel like I had to take this opportunity now. So that's a fucking nice logical reason for people to, yep, okay, cool. I'm under no illusions and understand this will be a massive challenge.
Yeah,
Like that
that's
to
what
me.
that's everything that you would expect
Yeah.
him to say.
And then he goes, I was impressed with the Titans and the professionalism they displayed in our meetings.
Yeah,
There you go.
well,
He goes on and thanks rugby and says, I've got to represent my country, which I'll, always appreciate. But
and then tell a bunch of fucking lies. and miscategorizing the Gold Coast Titans as an opportunity. I guess everything's an opportunity in life when you're looking through those rose-colored glasses.
Now, on top of that, there's been some more player movements with Penrith signing Esu Kapoa from the West Tigers.
Yeah, one of their good ones.
And have released young gun Lasardi to the Melbourne Storm, both effective immediately. So Kapoa will be signed with Penrith until the end of 2025, and he's been given a release from the Tigers. What do you make of that?
Well, look, I mean, the Panthers have to obviously fill a departure of Taruva over there.
Yep.
Also, look, I'm not that impressed with their defense on that side of the field either.
Yeah.
So I don't know if a West Tigers going to help them there, but I mean, let's face it, they didn't sign David Nofaluma, so I mean, there's fucking at least something to be said for it. Yeah, look, we'll see. I mean, players dropping, even if he's average, average players dropping into a system that has a lot of stable pieces.
Yeah.
In it can be nothing but good for him.
Correct.
Sure.
That's it.
And I don't know anything about the young guy that left the Panthers to go to the Storms, so
no, not at all.
You'll have to tell me.
Not at all. Look, again, young up and comer, and he's one of those ones where you can't say anything about it now. It's not one of those ones where you're like, oh, we're so sad we're going to lose him. He may turn into an absolute fucking world beater, or he may just turn into a solid first grader, or fizzle out. Who knows? But again, he's going into a very good system, and that will give him the best opportunity.
And this player comings and goings, it reminded me of a little bird that told me the other day or yesterday or today, I can't remember what it was. Time's a flat circle. But that Richo at the Tigers says that they are one star centre away from competing. Apparently everything else is fucking just peachy.
Fucking hell.
And I don't mean peachy like Tyro. So, look, make of that what you will. I mean, Richo, I think he's... I mean, it's funny as well how they had the stuff coming out about Galvin apparently, allegedly asking for a release, and he was sort of saying in the change rooms after last weekend's game, like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here, sort of thing.
Well, this was going to segue beautifully into the next segment around Galvin.
Okay.
So, you've started. Please finish.
Well, apparently that was what he was saying, but I mean, I don't necessarily believe it, because I don't think anyone's that fucking stupid. Like, I don't even think Jackson Hastings at his absolute Jackson Hastingsest would do something like that.
No.
So I don't necessarily believe that, but look, there's smoke, there's fire, and there's fire in return in terms of getting a release and stuff. So we'll see.
Well,
Richo's adamant. He's not getting a release. No one's getting a release, except for all the players we're releasing and the ones that we're actually flying all over to England to fucking try and generate deals for. Yeah.
That's it.
Which is,
I'm with you. I don't think that he's sitting there after the game saying to anyone who'll listen, I want out. I can't wait to get out. I'm out of here. Everyone, I'm gone. However, if the manager has said to him, oh, what are the guys in the shed saying? And he says, oh, I've mentioned to a couple of them that I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Then the manager mentions that, and with some fucking poetic license, one of the fucking scum journos decides to turn that into he's telling everyone he wants out.
I mean, he's got a scum manager to start with, and the other, and I don't think that a young rookie, maybe they'll be like, oh, gee, losing sucks, something like that. But I don't think any of them are going to sit there with another player of all of whom are more senior than they are.
Yeah.
And be like going, gee, I'm not, I'm not happy, outside of just saying losing fucking sucks, can't wait till we turn it around or something like that, or what are we going to do and turn it around, that sort of thing.
Yep.
I can't imagine it being anything more than that.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
But it's just all speculation. He's obviously he looks to be a talented young player.
I did love that. Did you see the interview with the Tigers bosses there? He goes, I want to remind all the other clubs that if anyone talks to him,
we will sue you.
If you think I won't go to the NRL, if you think I won't, I'll fucking dob on you so hard. I'm double dobbing on you.
Yeah. He sounds exactly the same as Pasco.
Fucking hell. Well, same cunt, different suit.
Yeah.
That's it. Realistically, all shit aside,
yeah.
When do the Tigers get out of this?
I don't care. And look, I had a lot of sympathy for the West Tigers. Patreon people will know very, very well and good. There was a number of membersodes that happened to fall on Tigers games, and I was riding those cunts home for the win harder than Glennie ever fucking did. It is known. It's on the record. But at the conclusion of last season, this fan base just got so fucking salty because we got Brooksy and T2, aka Tommy TWiL, and there's been such little bitches about it that I'd say fuck them. You had them, couldn't do anything with them. Suck my dick. Fucking come last. My days of fucking wishing good things on you. I'm not going to say you're Parramatta, but you're not my favourites anymore. All right. So to answer your original question, when do they get out of it? Don't care. Never. Hopefully.
There you go.
They're looking like Glennie was like he's only sort of half joking when he's saying it's harder to three-peat a spoon than it is, to win a premiership. But
it doesn't appear to be.
A couple of weeks ago, I would have thought them getting the spoon would have been not an impossibility, but so unlikely, just the way the ladder positions and the general form of sides around them, that area were sort of shaking out at the time. But now, Rabbits seem to be finding something. I mean, mostly by having nothing and being blessed by no one taken for Origin because of it. They're going to go through his Origin period with as full strength as they can kind of muster.
Yep.
And particularly like full strength when it comes to like your stars, like Trail and stuff. And the Tigers they're the ones going in the opposite direction. I mean, the Titans found a little bit of form enough to sort of drag themselves off there. Like the Eels, seem to have turned it around ish. It's the only team I think that is actually going progressively backwards like that is the Tigers. And what is it now, like 6, 7 in a row?
Yep.
That they've lost now.
Yep.
So look, I don't know what it takes to turn around, because Benji's not the answer. Everyone fucking said that. Everyone, like, the whole Sheens to Benji pipeline thing that they dreamt up was fucking stupid, and I don't think it's going to work. I've got nothing against Benji. He seems like a great guy. He could be a great coach in the future, but man, there's just some things that you see in the way they play, and at the start of the season, even if they didn't win, you'd be like, oh, they actually, oh wow, this year they actually were in a fucking game.
Yeah.
And there is like there's like a level of resilience or something that they've found, with Benji as the coach that they didn't have in the prior 2 seasons. But that seems to be gone now too. I mean, that's like, I don't know. I don't have any silver linings for him.
There we go. You heard it hit first. Never out of the hole.
Maybe silver linings for Galvin if he ends up at Manly or something like that. But there's obviously Panthers. Anyone shoots off to the Panthers as well. Maybe there's even a silver lining for Bud Sullivan, who apparently hasn't signed the deal, but apparently there's an agreement been made to go play for somewhere in England.
There you go.
So it's probably silver lining for him too.
Look, it is unfortunate
covered in gravy
that the West Tigers have a relatively skilled young half just at the time when so many other clubs have so much money to spend on a young half.
And we've only spoke about it like a couple of months ago. We were talking about how like there really hasn't been anyone to fork out for.
No.
Yeah.
But it's even the fact that the ones that have the money have the other talent to do it. Like Penrith can take a gamble on a young half because they'll have Cleary as his counterpart.
Yep.
So, unfortunate. Tigers can't take a break. Oh, well.
Yeah. And it's good for him that he's getting first-grade experience and stuff like that. But, it's terrible to have to be sort of thrust in. And when you got the situation, too, when you got Sullivan on one hand as your halves partner, and then the reason why he's your halves partner is because every month Caesar gets fucking suspended for doing some ruthless grub shit. I mean, it's not exactly that sort of stable environment that you'd like to bring a young new potential star through.
Yeah, exactly. And look, real talk. We've said it so many times. What sliding doors moments are there with young halves where it was just because of the team they ended up on, or the injuries around them, or the coach they had at the time, coloured their entire career. Fucking hell. Anyway, that's the news for this week. Couple of player movements.
Oh, look, listen. There's one thing that we need. I'm going to really quickly address it because I know that people will want to hear it.
Yep.
So rather than getting into the any back and forth or whatever about it, the news came today that Jared Hayne has won his appeal. His conviction was overturned in appeal. Now the only reason I bring it up is because obviously we have a popo in our in our group.
Yep.
So straight away I went to him, what the fuck, and he said that it's not a surprise because he said, she said sexual assault convictions can be easily overturned on appeal based on improper instruction to the jury by the judge, which was one of the 3 things that I think that they succeeded with, 2 of the 3 things. I then said that, do you think they'll go back? Because they'll come back at this point, if they go again, it'll be a 4th trial. And initially they said that they'd be very surprised if they went back for it again. And then later on said that there's a new prosecutor in New South Wales who's been criticised recently for her decisions on certain matters. She could be pressured to run a new trial, but it would be a valid argument to say the likelihood of conviction is so small, it's not reasonable to run a new trial. And then hours later came back to me and said, I spoke to a mate who's an expert in the sexual assault investigation field. Her call is that the ODPP will no bill as there's no hope of conviction. So that's the prevailing feeling inside the world of the popos.
Yep.
About it. So, so I guess that means he's likely to walk out of there. So, and then we'll see Parramatta fans go through the. We'll be able to sort them out from each other when, like JDB sorted out the Dragons fans. Well, there's the ones that still hate him, under any circumstances, and then there's the ones that are like, oh yeah, but he never got found guilty.
He was
found innocent.
He was proven innocent.
Yeah. So, and look, I mean, like that, the poor girl at the centre. I mean, like she wants to get dragged through this fucking shit again either.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah.
Lovely.
Knew it'd come up, so I just thought I'd just get ahead of it.
Fantastic.
And that's all
I can say.
The stance, obviously, yeah.
There we are.
And so what else? That was fairly light on the news in the end.
That's it.
Where are we? Let's go have a look at some games. Oh fuck me! This round felt like it went forever then.
certainly
I just
did.
looked at the first game and I was just like, holy fuck! Oh yeah, that was a game. That was a thing. The Dargans 56 defeated the Tigers 14 down at Wynn Stadium, which is like probably one of the greatest fortresses in the league at this in this year. A game of two halves. The Tigers were not only in the game, but they were marginally up at half time.
Yeah.
And then the second half was absolute one-way traffic as the Dragons broke them at will and scored some really good fucking tries too. I mean, immediately when you're dealing with like a training run situation, you can fucking throw caution to the wind a little bit, and when it's going your way and it's all coming off, it looks fantastic. But they scored some legitimately good tries. Lomax had a night on the scoreboard with a hat trick plus 9 goals plus a penalty goal, which was I don't know what the record was, but it was a performance of note over recent time.
Yeah, 100%.
In terms of like a individual points haul during a game.
Yep.
And with that 56-point win, obviously the West Tigers can no longer win the premiership this year.
Oh, is that what it took, was it? Okay.
Yeah. Now it's official.
Okay.
And I'm sure the Dragons fans... It's unfortunate that Glennie isn't here to gobble the dick.
The universe works in funny ways.
It really does. Because, I would have loved to have heard him turn on his side, because he would have turned on his side.
What do you say?
There's nothing to... Like, there's nothing to take out of this game for West Tigers. Nothing.
There really isn't. There really isn't. There was not even being up both on the scoreboard and it felt in the flow of the game was enough to keep him there. Like, not even being able to ride that wave of momentum and continue on with the job. That's pretty damning, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, because that first half it was a good game. And it was back and forth, and like the momentum kept swinging, and it was try for try. So for it to turn out the way it did, was absolutely stunning. But Dragons played well.
Yeah, well, it turned out the West Tigers had 35% of possession.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah.
So out of
that's because it got into that.
Yeah.
It got into that phase of like they're kicking off all the every
time.
set.
Yeah, they're kicking off all the time. But out of that game, out of an 80-minute game of football, they were in possession 16 minutes and 52 seconds.
That's crazy. Wonder what it was at halftime.
So they pays their money and they takes their chances, but the people that went along to watch them saw their team with the football in hand, and this isn't even in attacking position. This is all up.
Yep.
But the West Tigers completed at 60%, 17 out of 28 sets.
And when you haven't had the ball much anyway.
So the Dragons completed 33 sets. So they completed more sets than the Tigers attempted.
Yeah.
That's a damning statistic.
And then when you look at you take the attempts out of it and you look at the actual completions, I mean, they completed double the sets.
Yeah.
That's it. Fucking,
That's it. I've seen it a couple of places, and it's an obvious thing to say, but this is not the place for a rookie coach. That situation is not the place for a rookie coach. Unless that rookie coach maybe has, Wayne Bennett, who's retired and doesn't coach anymore, who can mentor him through how to deal with that. But I don't think he does. Because
this thing is not like he's taking over a system that is established and proven to be effective. He's taking over a system that fucking came dead last the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So it's not just a matter of that he has to maintain or ease his way into the role and just sort of maintain a level. I mean, well, I guess maybe he is. But, he's come in with the expectation of, well, you know what? I don't fucking know what the expectation was. I don't think that the expectation would have been immediate return to the finals or anything this year.
No.
I wonder if the expectation was probably just not last, I guess. I don't know. I wonder what internally what they thought, with the players they had and the draw and what Benji brought to the table, what they actually. I mean, because obviously you're going to have realistic sort of goals, and then you're going to have like your stretch kind of goals.
Yeah.
Things going well, injuries being favourable, and so on.
They would have to have metrics. They would have to have something internally.
Yeah.
Although, let's remember who we're talking about here. Would it have surprised you at all if they didn't actually have metrics and there was just things written on a whiteboard like compete in every game?
Stretch your quads.
Yeah.
Get a nice haircut.
Yeah. Sick fades.
Get sharpened up.
Sick fades win games. Fucking Jesus Christ. Socials on that one. We'll give the first to a long-time fan of us who doesn't appear on this show, Glenn. He said, "It's becoming apparent that I may bring this shit on myself. The only thing worse than watching my team put in a Hall of Fame effort to win a hat-trick of spoons is seeing Dragons fans happy. I deserve this." Thanks for writing, Glenn. We appreciate you.
Thanks for contributing to the episode, mate.
Lando, he said, "Turns out neither team will win the grand final after tonight. It'd be very easy to put the slipper into Real Dad tonight, but there is nothing we can say that is worse than him knowing that the tiny vestiges left of the West team he grew up loving is being dragged down into the nadir of irrelevance by this merger." Holy fucking hell. Stuart, I've heard this phrase, quiet quitting. Is that what the Tigers players are doing? Dev, so Toowoomba C-grade touch is above what the West Tigers produced. Glennie deserves this. He agrees. Matthew, the Tigers are absolutely shite. I have no other insight or eloquent tactical breakdowns. They are just shite. That is a way to do it. Lachlan, Lomax seems to be taking a lot of confidence from an Origin debut on Wednesday. Trust New South Wales to expel him not only from the team, but from the universe of relevancy in a few short years. There we go. Next game.
Lomax has been playing well all fucking season.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. The Rabbits. Where are we? What's the score here? The Rabbits 46 defeat the Titans 12 at Hope Solo Coliseum in front of an incredible crowd of 14,434, they say. They say. And just previously, in the previous segment, talking about the Titans, how they seem to have their shit together a little bit. I mean, this is the game. These are the games that they can't be dropping to the teams that are below them.
Yeah.
When you're sort of in the mix for the bottom four sort of situation. So, and look, this was the Rabbits with Cody Walker and Latrell in good mode,
focused mode. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I saw Latrell making the defensive reads and tackles. You saw him injecting himself more into the game. You saw Cody Walker doing the thing.
Yep.
Just a far better performance. Jack Whiten was better.
Yep.
Because I found that he really hasn't been fitting in that well. And I think I said this during the game to somebody, but having him there on the left, or like playing down the left. I mean, he was in the halves for this game, I think, but playing down the left the way he was, if he's going to fucking cost Alex Johnson the record. I swear to fucking God, that was a game where they were running right over the Titans.
Yep.
So many times the ball went down that side, and the amount of times it died with Whiten dummying and going himself, or just going himself off a left foot step, or kicking it dead,
yep.
or just kicking it shit, and there were times there where it was just a matter of just do what your predecessors have done since time immemorial.
Just move it along. Just
give
move it along. That's it.
Give it to AJ. Let him score for his fucking 3-4 tries and move up again.
Yeah.
But no, he was definitely much more involved. Although I do think he had a touch of the Hog Destos about him, which did cost them some extra tries.
Yeah, that's it. Positive one for the Rabbits was just how their tries were scored. It was and again, the Titans probably weren't at their defensive best in this match, but it ran the gamut of, well, you have tries out wide, you got Latrell going in himself, you got Cody Walker scoring, but then you've also got forwards crash balling and bullying their way through, as well.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, when Souths were a couple of years back when they were grand finalists. That was one of the reasons that they were so fucking dangerous, because they legitimately could have hurt you anywhere on the park. So getting that confidence back in a couple of key positions to be able to score from anywhere on the field, that's a big one for them.
Yep.
Titans, again, just didn't seem to be able to go with them. Any time the Bunnies lifted, the Titans didn't have anything there to go with them.
No.
So, I don't know, maybe a Wallaby half will fix that.
Yeah.
Is that what they do? Who fucking knows?
Yeah. Maybe rugby yin will fix them. Exactly. I did enjoy like the little running battle between Cody and David Fafita though as well.
Oh, 100%.
I fucking love that shit because it never actually sort of crossed the line.
Yeah.
Cody's just given to him when he drops it, and then when he scored the try, like when he had the opportunity with the ball in hand 5 meters out, he picked Cody in the line and just ran straight for him as you know, to make a point and actually score on him, which you don't see that often in rugby league because it's not as possible to do. Like it's like basketball or whatever, you know. Like, I mean, you can dunk on a motherfucker and
you can also search defensive assignments.
Yeah.
You know, if you want a guy to be guarding you, you run a high pick with whoever is guarding he's guarding, and you hope he switches onto you.
Yeah.
Can't do that shit.
No, no. So for it to happen, and then the spray he gave him afterwards was funny.
It was fucking great.
All right,
Scott, he said we should have ran with a spine of 3 hookers. It had more heart, and the team actually played to the plan to produce for each other instead of waiting for Foran and Campbell to produce things. So many bomb defensive and defensive plays. Shane said 3-peat coming. Terrific effort. Thomas, he said, get it up, you Glennie. The Bunnies put your sacks back where they belong. Until next week, but I'll take the small wins this season because it's been a rough one. Next game.
The Warriors 42 defeated the Cowboys 12 up there at the Abattoir in North Queensland in Townsville. And again, more one-way traffic.
It was, wasn't it?
And the Warriors finally seem like they're back into their groove as well. I think there might have been a bit of a component here of the Cowboys being just like a fatigue component, because they did contribute a large amount of players to the state of origin.
Yeah, they did.
You know, a couple of days prior.
Yep.
But like there's no question though that the Warriors look good.
They certainly do. This was a much more even game. Like, looking at the other games this round, where they were blowouts of this magnitude, there were those things like the possession was shit, or the completions were terrible, or it was just one-sided traffic in territory. The Cows, look, they were down a little bit on their handling. Their completion rate was only at 77%, but nothing that you would look at and be like, fuck, they leaked 42 points.
Yeah.
You know? The Warriors, I think, are getting their confidence back around having people that aren't Sean Johnson win football games for them. And the fact that they have the depth that they do this season, I think has gone a long way for them just not being out of contention at all.
Yeah, and this is traditionally the time of the season too where, you know, they barely ever give up anyone for Origin.
Yep.
So it's time they can kind of capitalise against the team. And I guess this is the perfect example, like, you know, post-Origin game players coming back under fatigue.
Yep.
I would expect them to win most of their games through this stretch.
That's it. What was your take on the double sin bin? Is that a thing?
I got referee fatigue, like sin bin fucking fatigue. Not because, like, just, you know.
What would you rather in that situation? Let's say there's a double sin bin.
Yep.
Would you rather that both players were sent from the field, or would you rather that, again, it was like in basketball, you get a double technical foul, they cancel each other out, no one takes free throws?
Yep. No, well, so what he's saying, there's just no penalty play on. And
that's it. So it's a double sin bin. Both players remain on the field. Get on.
Look, I think if infractions that are sin bin worthy are committed, then players have to get the bin.
Yeah. Okay.
Rather than nullify. I mean, you can't, like, you know, unpunished stuff, or like not punish, choose not to punish things.
Yeah, but it's saying that we're not going to give an advantage to the other team.
Yeah, but if it's a double, it's not though, is it? In this case.
Well, what if one of them's a prop and one of them's a fullback?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess in that, so if you're talking about positionally, yeah, rather than just numerically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look.
I don't have an answer. I was just curious at your thoughts.
Don't do the crimes.
Yeah.
Don't do the times.
Yep. If you don't speed, the speed camera won't get you.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Wally looking cunts. They haven't got me in years, I'll be honest though. I can't remember the last time I got. I had a time there where I was fucked, like in sort of it must have been like the late 2000s maybe, or when was it? But there was a time there where I had like 1 point or 2 points or 3 points left.
Yeah.
And and I had to last like a year or 18 months or something and not do a goddamn thing, or else because like the next one was gonna finish me. And so and you know what? It taught me to not be a cunt.
Yep.
And I actually, never been done again ever since. Even once my points did get replenished.
Yeah, nice. Look, my toxic trait is I say shit like, don't speed and the cameras won't get you.
Yeah.
And then I use those apps that tell you where they are. Yeah. And drive up everyone's ass that isn't doing 10 k's over the speed limit when they're not around. So.
Yeah.
Next game.
Right. You got any socials on that one?
No, I've deleted them. Next game.
Right.
Whoops.
Sharks 22, Broncos 12, Suncorp Stadium, Saturday night.
Methinks the Broncos might have gone into this one expecting a little bit of an easier run than they got, because they didn't.
Do you think teams actually like legitimately go into games sort of underestimating their opposition?
Fucking oath they do.
In the modern game?
Fucking oath they do.
Like, it's hard as like an entity, like an entire entity of 17 moving parts and the coaching staff and the preparation leading up to it. It's fucking hard for like a complete, you know what I mean, like a mass buy-in of that. Maybe you got like some individuals in the side that go in thinking, this is going to be easy, and they get found out. But
how it's a fucking easy step from we're prepared, we've trained for these guys, we've had a good week, we're all feeling good, we're on a good run. It's not a fucking hard thing to step into being a little bit overconfident.
Yeah. And look, the Broncos, they were up fairly well at halftime.
Yeah.
And looking pretty good. Admittedly, it was kind of it was a little bit of against the run of play when they actually sort of got out to that 8-point lead for halftime. But second half, all Sharks, and without Nico as well, which just adds even more to the how overrated
exactly.
he really is.
Well, there's another thing. The Broncos go into this one. They don't have their half. This would be a fucking easy beat, and came up against a Cronulla side that was determined.
Yeah. Because the Cronulla side it's a Cronulla side that played the way they have been all season long, with their the forwards doing their fucking job.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, their power backs, like, doing their job.
Yep.
I mean, Talakai was just fucking beasting out.
Yeah.
Like, he was doing like he's he's more, well, maybe not that level, but yeah, he was the Talakai that you see once in a while out there.
Yep.
Bullying guys rather than being like exploited for like he's like a footwork.
Which is that thing. There's the David Tyrone Peachy factor.
Yep.
In that, well, he'll do all of this awesome highlight worthy shit, and everyone's like, oh yeah, that guy's awesome, but ignore the fact that it's fucking mid the entire remainder of the time.
Yeah. But look, I don't know much else to say about this game. I mean, it was a good performance by Sharks, though. I mean, good bounce back for them after
Look, I've
some difficult performances.
I spoke about it on the mid-season review with the Broncos, but I reckon the worst possible outcome for this season for Ezra was to have Reynolds injured for so long. I think being so young, starting to come into being such a prominent player in the league, making it to a grand final, having it taken away like it was, he needed a year, just a solid year of tutelage under Reynolds, and that hasn't been possible. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's cost the Broncos in terms of patience, that complete 80-minute performance. They're still a fantastically gifted team. There are just some athletic freaks on there and some brilliant footballing brains. But I think without that patience and maturity of Reynolds, there were some wasted opportunities, I guess, for this season.
Yeah, and obviously, they didn't have Reece Walsh either, who sparks so much for them. So,
but then also has 8 errors a game.
Yeah, but so who knows? Maybe the things he sparked with, gave him another couple of tries, and when you get the scoreline that close to, close to each other, then that's when the arsey things happen.
Yep,
and
that's it, just at the right time.
So yeah, it's just that little bit of brilliance. You got any socials on that one?
Kevin said we fell apart when our bench forwards came on and our back three made some horrible errors. But the worst part of this game for me was our attack. Outside of an individual effort or two, we had nothing. There was no cohesion with our spine or structure at all. Defended our hearts out for large portions of the game, but not for one moment did we look like we had more points in us than the Sharks. Interesting. Hams. He said, pretty easy win. Sharks made sure to hashtag fuck the Broncos. Daniel. Queensland may get State of Origin, but they don't get NRL. 0-3.
Very good.
Cameron, the Sharks' offloads won the game for them. Well, their offloads are now inability to catch, pass, and tackle. Love it. Next one.
Also, jet ski. How the fuck in 2024 that guy? Surely the Broncos have got a back rower lying around somewhere that can sit on their bench. He's just a bad player, and this is not a new thing. He was bad when he was at the fucking Dragons or wherever he started off, and then he was bad when he was at Manly, and then he was bad at North Queensland.
Yep.
I mean, this fucking guy. But it's not my place to say.
No, it's
Fuck
not.
Broncos. Storms 36 defeat the Knights 28 down at the Korean Housewife on Sunday afternoon. This was actually a great game. I mean, the Knights had they were dead and buried, and it's just it was a great game in the first half. Then the Storm did what the Storm do, and they slowly sort of ground their way to like a match-winning lead, and then the match really appeared to be over for a while.
Yeah.
There. But then the Knights just sort of sneakily, they just snuck in a try, and then they snuck in another try, and here we go, now they're close, and then the Storm had to kind of, dig in a little bit at the end there, and try and stem the tide of like the momentum, coming from the Knights, because I mean they were coming home hard.
Yeah, they were. It says a lot, I think, about this Knights side and their temperament, because Knights teams previously, the one thing you wouldn't have called them was resilient.
Yeah.
But to be in a game like this, up to their armpits, and to be a legitimate chance of coming back over the top of the Storm, which doesn't happen. But you talk about, describe the Storm front runners will be one of the top 3 things that people say.
Yeah.
In saying that, they just lacked a little bit of polish. Like, they've got so much talent there. They've got a good mix of youth. They've got a good mix of vets. Gay Guy and Frizzle, those guys are out there keeping them calm. I just feel they miss a little bit of polish in the halves to really have proper chances in games like this.
Yep.
If you're Newcastle...
Oh, please. I'd love it. Sorry, what's the question?
What do you do about your Ponga issue?
Well, it's not just a Ponga issue now, because I mean you've got what's his face? What's it, Armstrong that came out with a bang.
Yep.
He was the one that kind of catapulted them to a little bit of a winning streak with Ponga not being there.
Yeah.
he started getting talked about as the next whatever, and then invariably the talk turns to all these, like the Roosters or whatever, going to try and sign him, and he's like, no, he's going to re-up with the Knights. Has a bad game, his first bad game last week, and this is the thing, I don't think it's very rare, I think, for a young rookie player to come in and be able to sort of maintain large tracts of games, especially like in important positions like fullback.
Yep.
Like large tracts of games, like error-free, or like to not have a bad one or sort of drop off or something at some point. And like with Ponga being such a soft-shell crab, they obviously can't manage Armstrong's exposure to first grade and like sort of, have him in and, give him a rest or whatever and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So he had his first bad game and they basically fucking sent him to China. And
yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it?
Brought in Fletcher Sharp, who had a great fucking game. Like, so the Knights obviously have tons of young fullbacks. I don't, well, maybe look, I don't know tons. They got two that we've seen in actual fact. We've actually seen these guys. They're two. We've seen them in first grade situations. They both played fucking amazing.
But who are genuine fullbacks who understand the niche requirements of that position.
Yeah, and so look, you can't keep them all. And I mean, like, both of these young guys have gone so well that, you start hearing the talk again. Oh, they're going to try and put Ponga at 6 again, or what they're going to do. So
is this the sunk cost fallacy? Is this Newcastle saying we've invested so much into Ponga, we have to make it work, as opposed to that you tend to get, say, in US sports where they're just like, nah, we've tried this, not working, cut your losses and fuck off.
Yeah, look, I mean, they've only just extended him, haven't they? So,
yeah.
And this is the reason it makes it weird is that they've already tried this Ponga at 16.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Moves him back to fullback. Things caught fire again, and they started playing better as a side. So look, yeah. I don't know. You would think that Ponga just goes back to 1, and these guys have to bide their time to an extent. I mean, that's the way it probably should go, but. Yeah, and look, you can't keep. You do that though. I mean, you have to recognise as well at the same time that there's a chance that you're going to lose one or both of them to clubs who can offer first grade.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight up. So.
Daniel, Knights should have won that game, but they're just a stupid footy team. Plenty of Knights fans blaming the refs, but you won't win many games with shitty defence letting in 36 points. Yeah, it was a big fucking try-fest. Bennett, he proposes that Kamikamica's nickname should be Hightower. There's a fucking throwback. The old police academy. Fucking hell. Danny, of course we lose. We didn't play the full 80 and some stupid moves. Did have a go in places, but again, didn't play the full 80. Fucking down on yourselves, Knight fans.
Look, they had a go, and that game was lost, and they got themselves back into a position where they were sort of charging at the end and had gave themselves a sniff, because I remember the game ended with the Storms. Just had a kick. They received a penalty, kicked a penalty goal just to really shut it down. So
Bethany said it would be so nice to have one game where we don't make stupid errors or give away stupid penalties. Discipline has been terrible this year, but somehow we still win games. Well, this is what happens when your team evolves. They get a different style of play. They're not the Melbourne Storm of your youth.
Correct.
Next game.
Panthers 32 defeat the mighty Manly Seas Eagles 22 out at our Bluebet Stadium. I can't remember what the name we gave that stadium. This is a good game.
Yeah, it was.
It's been a great home and away series this year, which is good because for the first time in a number of years. So
the to the left championship, the battle of the left edges.
Like, I mean, the Panthers. At the end of the day, the Panthers at home where they're very difficult to beat. Completed at something in the circa like 92-93%, which is probably their highest completion rate. Would certainly be their highest completion rate this year. And it's probably the highest completion rate in a fucking long time, because it's just not common for teams to complete that many sets of tackles, and the result, possession and field position and things like that. But I have to say, like, I mean, it's also I'm very happy with the way that we hung in there despite that. I mean, because I would love to look at Panthers statistics and then compare them against another Panthers game that they played, and extrapolate. I mean, they should have fucking won by a lot, but the way that they hung in there was great. And the concerning thing, I think, I mean, I know what the problems are with Manly, and they're the same problems they have been all fucking year, and it's basically the bench rotation, and they just don't have enough fucking good middles. They just don't.
Well,
And when the rotation changes, then they just get rolled, and then that's that.
Well, I'll tell you, you look at it. I'll show you when Penrith lost to the Dragons.
Yeah,
they completed at 75%. They had 30 sets completed over the course of the game. They completed 37 out of 40 in this game against Manly. And unfortunately for Manly, this is that thing. It was one of those games where against any other team, and maybe against Penrith some weeks, they did enough to win this game. Like Manly completed 32 of 37 sets.
Yep.
So that is enough.
It was a high quality game all around. And the concerning thing for the Panthers, I mean, the thing with the Panthers, I mean, they made a lot of ground through the middle in that sort of period, sort of just before halftime, and into like maybe the 60th minute kind of thing, which is where the game was won. And that's how they won. That's how they won. But Manly, on the other hand, when they had very few opportunities to score tries, but anytime they started a set anywhere around the 30, 40 meters out, they scored every time. Which, especially down that left-hand side,
that's the issue.
Taruva and Tungo, like Tommy Talau fucking owned those cunts, and they're like the West Tigers put a lot of fucking stock in in their big money purchase, and like Tungo had a big money extension too.
Yep.
With the Panthers.
Yep.
Those cunts can't defend.
There are some glaring fucking holes.
Tommy Turbo wasn't jumping in there and chiming in and shit like that. We were running very fucking simple plays at them.
Yeah.
And very easily find. Like I was stunned how easy it was to score against Penrith when we had the ball in an attacking opportunity, because it hasn't been like that in a long time.
And it wasn't even as if like a lot of the time you were setting up that side, compressing the middle. It was almost being run as a short side, and it was just fucking diabolical. Because we had no ability. Like we had no ability to compress the middle. Yeah.
Like, there was that was lost in there. And I mean, it was like the loss of Croker is really, like, he's a guy that holds that shit together.
Yep.
And in conjunction with Jake as well, and with one of them out and the other one, coming off a short turnaround as well, just had fucking no chance. With some of the other lazy lumps in there, but losing Hamoli like 20 minutes in as well.
Yeah,
that was key because Corey Waddell, I'm not going to say he's like an absolute fucking dumpster piece of shit player, but he's only like 30-minute player.
Yep.
And so to have to run him, pretty much the entire game.
Yeah, that's it.
On the side that he doesn't play when he does the interchange, and like just it's like such an important obvious. It cut down on one of Daly's pet plays. B, like the defense on that side already when the middle's already sort of folding and Waddell's not great. So it was just some bad luck, and just like a Penrith side that actually played to their potential for which they haven't done a whole lot this year, I don't think.
No, not at all. And more disruptions this year than previous. I thought Dano was quite good.
He was good. He played. He obviously had just the the mandate where it was just like, all you got to do is just back up through the middle and just fucking run and just run as hard as you can.
Which is where his skills lie. Unfortunately, it does become apparent that, whilst he is a good first grade level fullback, he's not Dill.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, though, I think Toto's growing in leadership. You always get a little bit concerned when the squad starts to disband and you've had the guys who are obviously really tight together start to leave.
Yep.
So when Crichton left, because it was all, Luai, Critter and Toto.
Yep.
Then Luai's announced here that he's going, and Toto was the last one left.
Yep.
And there's a little bit where it's like, okay, well, is there really anything tying him to the club anymore? I'm sure he could get amazing money offers elsewhere. What's it go? He seems to have really taken on that leadership role, and he was instrumental just in his solo work. He is an absolute fucking weapon. And for a guy who doesn't have the body size and style that we've seen centres and wingers take over the last little while, for him to be... he's not the best finisher in the competition. He's not the most athletic finisher. He's not doing the flips and all of that shit.
No, his thing is like get down low and go
But
as well. You know, like.
he is the most impactful winger in the competition because of his whole game effort. Romy continues to impress, and if you're a Tigers fan, you should 100% be happy with your purchase. Unfortunately, that should be offset by us throwing in a free Taruva. But, Romy's there. The highlight of this game for me was, highlight or low light, finally, tripping is back on the fucking menu as a dog act.
Well, the man who got charging down field goal attempts put back as a suspendable offence has now got tripping back on the table as a suspendable offence.
However, you can full on fucking Tedesco karate kick somebody while they have the ball.
Yes.
And nothing.
Nope.
However, an ankle tap.
The old school ankle tap, yeah.
On somebody who is running up in support and fucking hang.
Also, if he dived and did it with his hand,
it's a genius. Yeah.
Well, it's not genius because it is a penalty because you're taking out a supporting player.
He still doesn't have the ball.
But it's probably not a suspendable offence, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it probably doesn't get seen.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? Like,
so
honestly, what a fucking dumb cunt. I can't wait till he goes to England. My fucking God.
Yeah.
He's just such a cunt of a fucking person. Like, just a dumb meat puppet. Like, the dumbest.
Yeah. And then the Nathan Brown hair pull.
Oh, that shit that drives me fucking mental because you can clearly see from the replay that he was just he grabbed the shoulder, and the hair's just fucking on there because it's out. Like, it's just, I mean, he let as soon as it come away and it was hair, he let go. Like, that is one of the dumbest fucking.
That's not
rules.
Quite how it went down. He fucking yanked.
If you're actually grabbing a dude by the mullet and fucking yanking him to the ground with it. That's one thing.
Yep.
But like shit like that, I think there has to be like a middle ground of like if you're going to have your hair like that.
Is it the NFL that has the rule that if it touches the uniform, it's considered part of the uniform? Where is it that has that rule? Bossy goes on about it all the time.
Oh, does he? Oh, yeah. I tried to mute games with Bossy.
And I don't disagree that if you want to wear long hair, that is absolutely fine. However, if any hair that is past the neck of your jersey, will be considered part of your jersey.
Yeah, because there's one thing if you're like going to tackle a guy and you're going to grab him on the jersey or like the collar or whatever, and you get something like that. That's one thing. And then there's another thing if it's like, I don't know, like, you know, Tino or something, who's got like this fucking Billy Ray Cyrus mullet that goes all the way down to his ass, grabbing it and fucking using it as a strap to pull him to the ground.
That's it.
Like there's a big difference between the two things, and I don't think you can just go, oh, you grab the hair, therefore it's instantly a penalty. Like, it's just a bit fucking, you know.
Look,
but look,
I'm also going to say that it is 100% in Nathan Brown's character to try and fucking get away with a hair pull, because that is the sort of grub cunt, fake tough guy that he is.
Yeah, probably.
The more interesting one for mine was the Luai Brooksy scuffle.
Yeah, that should have been no try. No. Because like there was definitely a scuffle between the two of them, but Brooksy actually then disengages from it, and Luai pulled him back. And so that should have been market interference then and there. No,
because Brooksy had initiated the contact.
Yeah, but then he
doesn't matter.
But then he turned and disengaged, and then you got. Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Of course you can.
No, you can't.
Of course you can. He went disengaged, and then Luai's pulled him back. So, like, I mean, that's actually ridiculous.
Not the Brooksy is the guy.
And there was also a try. I mean, like if we're getting into like the weeds, I mean, there was also a try there where Isaiah knocked the ball on as well.
100%.
So I mean. Yeah, so like at the end of the day, Ruben kicks his goals and Manly win 32-22.
All I can say is it's good to be the narrative team.
Yeah, that's it. It is a narrative team thing.
However,
But look, and like I think we can agree, like on in the final wash up though, based on the tenets of aggregate and away tries rules, Manly won both of those. So I think now, according to I haven't looked at the rule book, but I think they're the premiers now. So
whatever helps you sleep at night. If you want to celebrate this, I will fucking celebrate your success just as hard. Just as I do when my kids believe that Santa Claus put the presents in the box, I will not strip away your joy.
Put the presents in what box?
Don't you have a Santa box?
No.
Nice.
They got like a sack sort of situation,
Yeah.
It's not a box. Yeah,
that's it. So no, it's a box.
No, okay.
Yeah, you unfold them, you put them there, keeps everything in there, all the rubbish goes in there.
Right.
Yeah. Tell you what, the fucking elf,
early for that, isn't it?
the elf on the shelf. This is how hard these dumb kids want to fucking believe. Right? So the baby is now into all the cupboards.
Right. Oh, and he uncovered it.
And last year, I got a deal on some elves on shelves and got his one. Right?
You got a family of elves that fell off the back of a truck, right?
In preparation.
down to the fucking
this?
down to the pub. And then he walks up and goes, hey, I want to buy an elf.
Yeah, it was like Paulie Walnuts came in. Here's your taste. And so the baby's in the cupboard. And as he's pulling shit out, Em and I are in the kitchen and we're, hands of meat and veg or whatever. And we say to one of the kids, oh, can you just see what he's pulled out of the cupboard there? Just make sure it's nothing he shouldn't have. Because we're pretty sure everything's kid friendly.
Like as in something that he can choke on.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's this padded fucking envelope. And she's gone over and pulled it out. And there's an elf in the shelf there.
Oh, no. And where are the others at this point?
So the others are packed like they disappear. So I don't know.
No, but where are they when this is happening? Are they seeing this unfold?
What, the kids or the?
Yeah. Are they seeing like this other elf being pulled out or?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So we've sent one of them over to say, hey, just check what's in that envelope, and the kids pulled out the fucking elf.
Oh no.
And then the rule is, if you touch your elf, it dies.
Oh, it dies. That's harsh.
That's the law.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Okay.
Or the magic leaves them or some shit, which is the same as dying.
Yeah.
You know? But there was luckily there was a plastic bag around it, and she did not even fucking question why is there an elf in the shelf in a fucking envelope in the cupboard in June.
Yeah.
Like she just instantly in her head made up a story of, oh, Santa's posted him early.
Yeah, what about the boys though? The boys might have been different.
We've got one boy who knows.
Yeah.
And the other one we're not sure.
Yeah, okay.
So
I'm almost certain that both of them know, but no one wants to fucking come out and be the ones that say it. And so I'm just happy. I'm just happy to keep going until like it's now it's like a game of chicken.
Yeah, fuck.
It's like who's gonna blink? I'm gonna keep fucking. I'm gonna keep riding it until fucking. I'll ride it until you're 26 years old. Fucking.
Has it come up at school?
That's why I'm pretty sure that both of them, because I'm obviously it must have.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah.
But the conversations haven't been had. So like. So it's like it's this brinksmanship.
Oh, I love it. James.
Anyway.
The Brooksy trick shot is the X factor that can lead New South Wales to glory. There you go.
Sexual.
There you go.
Tommy Talalo, what a fucking buy. Where did they get him from?
Who would have let him go?
Where were the West Tigers stashing that guy?
That's it. Ryan.
They wouldn't have come last if they had that guy.
Brooksy's pretty good in defence despite his little Oompa Loompa arms.
He does like to put a hit on, which is probably a career-limiting fucking move.
Graham, he said, the New South Wales captain was effective yet again. I love Jake, but he's just a non-event at this point. Oh, fuck, that's a bit harsh. There we go. Next game.
Oh, yeah, this one snuck up on me by surprise. I only found out this game was happening at about 3:30 on Monday because up here we're the only state that doesn't have public holiday.
I only found out it was happening when you put something in the group chat about, haha, did you see what Gutho just did?
And let me tell you, it was very fucking entertaining what Gutho just did. Everyone knows. It's one of those things now. I mean, Gutho versus the Dogs. Everyone knows. They can. You remember where you were when you saw Gutho fucking flop on the ground.
Oh, Jesus fuck!
like a fucking discarded fucking full rubber. The Dogs 22 defeat the Eels 18, and in front of what was I believe was a record crowd for this clash of over 45,000. So well done, Westy Bogans, getting out to this one. The Eels, all the advantages in this game. They had their pocketed referee Peter Goff,
yep,
who gives them ridiculous fucking penalty counts in their favour every game. This one ended up on 9-4, but I think it was 9-0 or 9-1 at a point. The Dogs played like absolute retards for probably 25 minutes of the second half, where it just seemed like every set or every second set they were bombing a try.
Yeah,
like they bombed 3 tries in a row at one point, and yet despite all the lifelines given, and despite like how well the Eels played initially to sort of get themselves up to like 18-10 or whatever it was. Finally, they cracked at the end there, and Doggies got the go-ahead try late to win the game. There's a lot of issues I have with this game. First thing, I think the Dogs are actually like legitimately an improving side, and I think they have a great baseline of like how well they play. They got great defense, and the attack is not quite there, but it's kind of they can generate moments.
Yep.
Sometimes, and they can certainly capture. They haven't quite managed to figure out how to capitalize and turn all of the chances into tries, or even how to turn the tries into tries without bombing them. But
a lot of disallowed.
It's enough. But like their defense and just general base level of play is pretty solid. And I mean, like they could definitely sneak into the bottom of the 8, the way they play. But that Gutho thing was so fucking funny. Like it was. I can't remember the last time the Birdo put up one of these Birdo bombs. It feels like it's been forever.
Yeah.
Since he's put up a proper one. But this time he put up a proper one. Gutho had absolutely no idea where it was going. And he was so far away from it that he couldn't possibly reach it by the time it came down back to earth. And so he just sort of flailed like one of those blow-up inflatable guys outside a fucking used car dealership. And just... like from a guy that's got a ton of GIFs of memed attempts to make tackles, whatever, this was his absolute all-time crowning moment. And then exceeded at the end by Peter Goff telling him that he had to be better as a captain.
That was fantastic. Which
is just a beautiful thing. But my number one thing that annoyed me in this game, outside of the footy play and everything like that, there was that time there where Parramatta went for a sort of shift down a short side on the right-hand side of the field. Mitch Moses or someone involved in the chain there knocked the ball on. It continues on to the in-goal area and goes over dead ball line or something, or goes touching goal.
Yep.
And so it's going to be a Bulldogs tap from the 20 from the 20.
Yep.
And the Eels challenge. They go, no, we actually knocked it on back here on the 10-metre line, so it actually should be they should have the ball from there instead of getting a 7-tackle set.
Yeah.
The amount of people sucking the Eels off.
Oh, it's genius.
It's genius. It's greatest fucking captain's challenge of all time.
Historic.
Fuck up. No. I think... I almost think that it should be something that you can't actually do. Like we're so shit we couldn't fucking complete a simple passing sequence down at the right hand side of our attack. So just because not only can't we attack without dropping the fucking ball, but we also don't think we're good enough at defense to defend an additional tackle either. So let's fucking run through the whole review mechanism to do that. Fuck the Eels. Glad they lost. Come last, for the love of God.
Fantastic.
Shit, cunts. And look, they're only a win away. I mean, it's still a bit of a logjam down the bottom there with the final 4 sides there with Parramatta Gold Coast, South Sydney on 10 points, Tigers on 8, Tigers have obviously a terrible for and against, but the Rabbits isn't that much better either, and that's coming after that big win they had on the weekend. So they kind of rectified their for and against, at least in that bottom dwelling, mesh, size there. But
I feel the Rabbits have more upside to them just as a club.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I feel like the Rabbits are on the up, and they also get some favourable matchups through Origin as well.
Yeah, they do.
If they're not conceding their stars with their increased good form, if they don't concede, it wouldn't surprise me after the going, Suwali is going to be out, obviously suspended for game 2.
Yep.
So there is an opening there in centre, and look, it wouldn't surprise me if Latrell just went straight back into there.
Yeah, 100%.
Wouldn't surprise me,
100%.
But at the same time as well, like Birdo's in the squad as well, and they could easily just chuck him in there as well. So. But it wouldn't surprise me.
That's the games.
It is.
Previews.
So now, on to the teams for this week. What are you up to? Round 14.
15.
15.
15, 14.
15. Oh, I can't remember.
15.
Oh, it is 15. Oh, fucking can you believe that shit? Here it is, round 15. Doggies, bye. Let's go into the Sharks versus the Dolphins. Thursday night game. This one's happening down at Reclaim Australia Coliseum. What do we got here? Nico Hines back in for the Sharkies. Hamlin, Ueli, Hiroti, and a bunch of other motherfuckers. So
there's some big
Daniel Atkinson goes to reserves. Braden Trindle moves to 5'8" from halfback, with the return of Nico in there. Dolphins. Who's out here? Let's have a look. So Trey Filler bows out again for the Hammer. Mark Nichols goes to the bench. Kenny Bromwich goes to the front row. And there's a absolute laundry list of players who are out. But what I'm looking at here is not actually correct, so I can see that he's in there. Okay, so look. Dolphins again. The Dolphins are always in a fucking game.
They are.
Legitimately. They're always in a fucking game. Oh,
if the Sharks are going to make a serious push for top 4, they need to win these games and win them convincingly.
Oh, I think the Sharks are going to win the Minor Premiership by 6 fucking points. Don't get me wrong. They got the softest draw in the game.
Certainly do.
The more you put on, the more you get back on that one.
But
I'm not saying that they're not going to go into straight sets. I'm saying the Minor Premiership.
There you go.
So get on there, Sharks fans. I mean, you want to, you don't say I don't say anything nice about you.
There you go.
Yeah. Look,
the Sharks are essentially the Boston Celtics of the NRL, with the easiest run in to a finals campaign in the history of the sport.
Manufactured for their success.
Yeah, that's it.
Although, unlike the Boston Celtics, the Sharks are not an iconic franchise with a storied history of success and great players.
However, do enjoy doing a racism.
That's true. They are kind of known for it.
Tell ya, never seen Bill Russell go back to Cronulla.
I mean, the only reason they didn't call anything that happened in Boston a race riot is because it happened every day. It wasn't out of the usual.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't like a special. It wasn't like a special occasion. like the day that the Lebanese guys felt like having a swim. But look, I mean, when you look at these sides on paper, I mean, the outside backs. I mean, you think of the form of guys like Ramian and Katoa, and the Moot.
That's it.
For the Sharks, they should absolutely, they should run riot over them, and so it really just comes down to the Trindle and Hines combination again. Their forwards, I have the utmost faith, are going to do the things that they do. Yep. I mean, the Sharks have a very good forward pack, very consistent performers, and you know what you're going to get out of them, and then they provide the platform to. And then it's like, will Nico and Co be able to actually generate the points off the back of that? The Dolphins, I feel like whenever the Dolphins win, it's always like a surprise. Or like against a side like a higher up the ladder side like this.
Yeah.
It always feels like it's a bit of a surprise. And look, I'm not going to say that they can't surprise us again, but I think at home, I'd be very surprised if the Sharks didn't get away with this one.
Agreed.
Raiders versus Cowboys in Canberra. What do we got here? Hudson Young. It's all reserves, shifting around. So we go to North Queensland. Who we got here?
Shibasaki.
Yeah. Where are you seeing a Shibasaki?
He is on the reserves, but it's just been so fucking long since I've seen that name.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously, it's like Smith for shit players. The Shibasaki's famous up there in North Queensland.
I can't go past the Raiders here. Canberra in Canberra. It's cold enough for that to be a thing.
It's very worrying, like the way the Cowboys got blasted.
Yeah.
Like, not in the running of the play, but just the way that the points were allowed to accumulate in that game. I want to put it down. I want to put it down to origin fatigue from a large and important contingent of players in that side. But does it happen again?
Yeah, no.
I don't particularly rate Canberra, if I'm being honest.
No, neither do I. But I think they've got enough in them to take care of the cows.
Cowboys, they do tend to sort of have be like bad Cowboys, good Cowboys.
Yeah.
So last week being as bad as it gets, I mean, this week it kind of, do they bounce back? But yeah, look, when you look at all historical, they're not a travelling side. It's the time of the year when Canberra has a legitimate home ground advantage. Excuse me, the matchup in the forwards, there's obviously big players on both sides of this one that can somewhat cancel each other out.
You're putting a lot of fucking brain power into this one.
Yeah,
it's fucking hot in North Queensland and they are playing where it is very cold.
Yeah, but I mean, you're fucking professional sports people. I mean, just a simple variance in temperature shouldn't be the thing.
What is this fucking thing you have this week all of a sudden that they're professional fucking... temperature shouldn't affect you. You should never go in underestimating your opponents. Fucking hell, do you not know what sport we cover?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Canberra can win.
Yeah.
I permit it. The Rabbits take on the Broncos, Accor Stadium. What do we got here? Havili is out for the Rabbitohs.
It's a big
Murray
one.
returns, though. He's in number 16. So I assume he's back, but they're going to sort of measure his return somewhat and not just throw him straight back in there again. Broncos. What we got here? Marty Tapau into the... Oh, no, he's in 21. Got excited there for a second. He was a reserve, but jet ski's still there, though, in the 17.
Certainly is.
How that fucking... I mean, Fletcher Baker hasn't worked out for Brisbane the way they probably thought when there was... they had a little bit of bidding war to get him from East, and they got him. It hasn't probably worked out as the way that they thought he was going to work out. But, man, to be in the lineup after... on the power charts after Jack Kuchevsky is a fucking insulting way to do business with your squad.
Is Kobe Hetherington and Fletcher Baker the same person? I'm just looking at their fucking photos now.
I don't know.
That's the same cunt.
I don't know. You'd have to send me the particular photos you're looking at.
It's on the NRL website. Go to the NRL website, go to the game, and go to the team lists. Right. And listeners, do this as well.
All right, I'm going there now. All right,
that is fucking Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man.gif.
Oh, I don't know why they don't. Oh, yeah, Jetski, he's actually invisible.
He's blank.
Yeah, he's invisible. So I mean, he seems like a much more dangerous player. Fletcher Baker. Yeah, look. I mean, it does look like the same person with a different hairstyle.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I'll give you that.
Confirmed.
Yep. Confirmed.
Yep.
I thought for a minute that is fucked up and just put the same image twice. But...
South would be looking at this one, I think, as an opportunity to really make a statement. They've had a very disappointing season. They've sacked a coach. They've come back. They probably didn't again reach the expectations that they had for themselves. going up against the Broncos would be a great opportunity for them to really put the rest of the competition on notice that regardless of our position on the ladder, we are a team that you should take seriously.
Yeah, no, I agree. Also, I think Latrell Mitchell's probably playing for an Origins spot that's become available.
Certainly is.
Potentially, Damien Cook. I mean, I don't know how Madge feels about actually carrying a second hooker in the squad. I mean, I would assume that Appy would probably be ahead of that, but there's an opportunity there as well.
Yeah, to
actually carry some utility value on the bench.
Yep. Or who knows if a centre gets injured.
Yeah, now
he's done it before.
Why is Reece Walsh still out?
Did he?
I thought he had to do the 11-day thing, but the 11-day thing means he's. Is this one? Is it because it's Friday night? I'm just trying to count the days. Oh, maybe he did get fucked over because of the Friday night football.
What do you mean?
11 days out.
Oh,
so
okay.
7 days
so
to
that'd still be concussion protocols.
Yeah, so he's okay.
Yep. Okay, makes sense.
That answers my question. Look, the Broncos struggle. Well, I wouldn't say struggle, but they're certainly not their potent best without Adam Reynolds steering the ship.
Yep.
And Reece Walsh providing the X factor from fullback.
Yep, that's it. Big opportunity for South here.
So yeah,
I'm going to tip the bunnies.
South's coming off a good win, and I know they got like Manly next week with Daly and that out, so they got some fucking good golden opportunities over the coming weeks to, it's too late for them to make a run, but unless they win like every game kind of run, it has to be one of those like monumental kind of runs.
Oh man, again, we're going through these mid-season reviews. The Bunnies now are on 10 points.
Yeah.
The bottom of the 8, which are the Broncos, funnily enough, are on 16. So it's 3 games.
Yeah, it's kind of like 3 games for them. It's 3 games to get to the bottom of the 8 as it is today. I mean, obviously, presuming these teams don't move up,
and they're lucky enough to be playing one of the teams on 16 points.
Yeah, yeah.
So finals football is not a pipe dream at this stage.
Yeah. It'd be a crazy run if they came back after being, like historically the worst.
Yeah.
Rabbit side, blah, blah, blah. So how many, 10 rounds or whatever it was.
That's it.
Fuck it. Let's YOLO the upset. Rabbits.
Let's go.
Tigers take on the Titans. Leichhardt Oval. For one of the last Leichhardt Oval games. Didn't get saved, did it? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Titans by a million.
Yeah.
Despite their lack of form. This one
Look
is
at the ins. So many ins for the Tigers.
Oh my God. Caesar's back to get suspended again for some bullshit. What's he going to do this time? Fish hook someone. Eye gouge? No. I reckon eye gouging is probably... That's one he hasn't filled out on his bingo card yet.
Yep. That's where he is.
He's not... I mean, look. If we're talking honest, like betting odds, it's going to be another hip drop because
that's what he does.
It. Yeah. I mean, he fucking wanks off over here. Fucking replays. Taylan De Silva, hooker.
Appy at 7.
My gosh, what the fuck are they doing?
Dewey's in 23.
Oh, that's right, because Galvin's out.
Yep.
And Sullivan's out. All right. Look, Appy at 7 tends to play. He loves to get his hand on the ball. He loves these monster leadership type games. So, and like they obviously saw the Titans. I mean, if you're gonna come up against a side that's playing hookers in the halves,
you can't beat them. Join them.
You got to fight hooker with hooker.
That's it.
And so
wasn't that a video game in the 90s? I'm sure there was something.
I mean, Double Dragon, you had to fight prostitutes.
There you go.
Like streetwalkers with the fishnets and they had knives, and you had to do the elbow thing.
I know that they're interchangeable these days, but if you had to pick between Aiden Caesar and Appy Coruscant as one who would be the organizer of your team, finishing off your sets, who would you pick?
Well, look, I mean, you'd look at the likelihood of the players, how many minutes they're going to play in the game, and I think that Aiden Caesar's ceiling is 70 minutes per game, and I'm not talking about interchange. So
Oh God. Okay, fair enough.
Adam Dewey in 23, creeping back, must be getting close to a return as well.
Did you see he had an opinion
On what exactly?
on young players?
What do you say?
He's like, oh, I'm glad to be back so I can install some culture at training, and if these young kids aren't behaving or training the way the club or I expect, they can go and play reserve grade. Had a big old fucking
How's he the
threat.
guy
So
that's fucking spouting off like
yeah.
that?
So I don't know. Maybe he's had a spine transplant or a heart transplant in all the time he's been off. Who fucking knows? Yeah, Titans by 1 million.
Titans running with 4 and at 7, and Jaden Campbell at 6.
What
Look, I think
is this the fucking in honor of Tim Sheen's cup? What the fuck's going on?
I think that Keeney's just going really well, and Desi's just trying to find a position for Jaden Campbell in the side, and given the fact that they don't really have a settled halves combination,
put him in there and run around.
Rather than put a hooker in there this week, he's opting for some speed.
That's it. Footwork. There you go.
And
there you go.
I'm in favour of the Titans. The Titans have a bigger baseline, but this is an important game in the scheme of the spoon battle, because if the Tigers can win this game, if they win it by 14 points, then that drops the Titans down to last.
Yep.
So, well, it's even less than that, because I mean the difference there is only 14 points. So it only has to be a try and a bit to. And
both of these sides have had a lot of games this season where defense is optional, but they can put points on. Yeah. So there should be some fucking tries scored in this one.
Yeah, look, I just don't know about the combination of the Tigers, but I think the Gold Coast will win and put themselves, not necessarily out of the danger zone, but yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Warriors take on the Storms in New Zealand. Betting on this one, split down the middle. I don't think that. I mean, while it is a very loud environment and sold out environment over there in New Zealand, I don't necessarily think it's the home ground advantage that people want to believe it is. I mean, they dropped the point to Manly there, lost to the Titans, who hadn't won a game at that point the week after.
And especially when the Storm have key players in key positions, guys like Jerome Hughes, that's essentially home to them. So they're gonna, I'm sure have family and friends there to watch them as well.
Yeah, I expect the Storm, their video sessions are not going to be kind to them this week. Looking at the way that the tries that the Knights scored and the way that the Knights were allowed back into the game.
Yep.
The Warriors have far more attacking potency than the Knights do as well. So
I think this one will be an absolute cracker.
Yeah,
an absolute cracker.
Best game of the round.
And I'm going to tip the Warriors at home. Flip a coin.
I am going to tip Craig Bellamy to kick the scaffold down.
There you go.
In their own house. The Eels take on the Roosters at CommBank Stadium. So, the Eels, since the return of Gutho and Mitchell Moses' side, certainly have looked like a more organised and generally well-rounded bunch. Still, the sides of the side that had them down the bottom of the table, even when those two were playing for them earlier in the season, still kind of remain as well.
Yep.
Roosters, however, been going great. Going to continue going great, I'm sure.
Certainly. The Brandon Smith issue.
Yeah, well, look, this happened. Remember last year, this was the gambling story was doing the rounds.
Yep.
And it was all but confirmed then that he was the one I was talking about. And so for it to come back up again, it just...
Or is that just because it was in such recent memory? He's had the issue recently with the video, and then this one where he was given a breach for not coming to a meeting.
He's a loose unit.
He is a loose unit.
And down in Melbourne, away from like the constant glare of the media, and probably a more highly disciplined environment.
Yep.
And maybe with some more disciplined players around him that are sort of, in his like friend and acquaintance group that he socialised with, didn't come out as much. But up in the Roosters, it's just fuck. He is like so close to having a bag found on him. It's not funny. And then because he had the player option in his to extend his contract, and he decided to exercise it.
Yep.
I think if it had been a club option, it wouldn't have happened.
Correct.
And he'd be looking for a club next year.
Speaking of players and player options, did you hear that the rumour is that Angus Crichton has come back and his management have said, we want everything you were going to offer to David Fafita?
Plus the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, my response to that is, I thought that the players who went to the Roosters, they went there and took less because they liked the culture and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought they went there for less.
Yep. That's what I was always told.
All these players. Apparently not.
Yeah.
I hope he leaves them.
Fucking oath.
He goes to Manly.
Yep.
How about that? That'd be great.
There you go.
Anyway, this game we haven't spoken about, but the Roosters win, obviously, right?
Easily.
1,000, yeah. And let's hope Gutho gives us another moment.
Certainly. I can't fucking wait.
Mighty Manly Seas Eagles take on Dragons. Brookvale Oval. Sunday afternoon. Hopefully in the glorious weather. Down on forward stocks a little bit with Brooksy. Sorry, Brooksy. With Woodsy apparently with a 5-6 week injury at the moment.
Oh, God.
Dang it. But O'Shea also out because of his fucking retard trip. So that'll bring Bullimore back in to the bench. Otherwise, I think the side will be pretty much the same. Simpkin there is listed there in 20. I would highly expect him to come back into the side. Not back into the side, into the side for the first time this week.
Yep.
Hopefully starting, because I cannot stand me another fucking minute of Carl Lawton. But yeah, well, we'll see. Dragons, what have they got here? They've got a couple of guys out. It's much the same as the side of last week, I think. Did you hear? I think it was today that I saw that apparently Ben Hunt is
staying
on the verge of a stunning backflip and actually staying at the club.
Yes, I did see that.
That is one of the biggest victories or achievements, I think, for Flano ever.
Yeah.
I mean, because that relationship was fucking dead and buried. And there were even times in the first couple of months of this season where Hunt was just like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So for him to actually have been turned around and to buy into whatever Flano's doing is a huge tick. Like a huge locker room tick.
I think Flano has the secret sauce of how to talk to players, as in Wayne has the mythos and the culture and the experience, and he's sort of that larger than life figure. But I think Flano would have the ability to really put across that, if nothing else, he understands what players go through and how to help them succeed and to get people on side. So it's a great coup. Unfortunately, they've let the only other good player they've got in their club go. So, won't save them. Fuck the Dragons.
Yeah. And look, obviously it's big. It's a big game. Like with the Origin period and players out next week, and we need to pick up 2 points for this game. I mean, if you had told me that we would have pushed Penrith, beat the Storm, and then almost beat the Broncos, I was prepared to say that we were going to lose all of those with Turbo out and Origin disruption, blah blah blah. So to actually grab one of those was a bonus. So now they have to get the ones that these ones like the Dragons and stuff.
Yeah,
because like you said, like the compressed nature of the table means that like a win puts you just outside the top four, but
yeah.
But then a loss, I mean, there's a break before the danger zone. I mean, you don't want to. They've already dropped the game against these cunts that they should have won, even as bad as they were playing that game. So you can't afford to drop another one of them.
Realistically, you only have the Knights and Cowboys behind you.
Yeah,
that can overtake you.
Yeah, exactly.
And out of those two, I'm not worried. If I'm you, I'm not worried about the Cowboys at all.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about Newcastle because of their draw.
Yeah, we've got a great draw coming after Origin, but we have to pick up and bank. I mean, we got to buy, and we got to buy, and we got this game, and then I think we got Souths, and Souths without our Origin players isn't like the slam dunk that it would have been if it had been either side of that. Like a week either side of it. If we can pick up those points, then we get out of the Origin period. Turbo comes back in round 18. I'm hearing that it's potentially he's going to be a centre. So we'll see how that goes. But then we have a pretty good draw on the run home from that point on to make the run.
That's it. But Manly should win this game.
This is the 30 almost. It's about a week away from the 30th anniversary of one of my favourite games of all time, Manly vs Dragons games.
There you go.
In 1994 when I was in Japan and Manly won 61-0. And there was a guy I knew over there who was a Dragons fan. And before the game, he's like, oh, we're playing this weekend. And I'm like, oh, yeah. He said, you want to bet on the game? I have a hundo on the game. I'm like, yeah, sure. And then so he comes back in and he must have been on the, this is the olden days, so he must have, had a fax from his dad or something like that. And he comes over to my apartment later on and he's like, I'll tell you what, do you want to go double or nothing if you can guess the score? He said, I'll even tell you the numbers. I was like, no, just give him 100, cunt. And then when he's 61, I was like, oh my fucking God. And I remember then, like a week later, I get mail from home, and my old man had taped the call from like Peter Wilkins on ABC Grandstand of that game, and so it was fucking great just like listening to it a week after I knew the result. But I mean, just like Peter Wilkins, who was one of the best callers, was absolutely losing his fucking shit. Like, this Manly side's white hot. And years later, I managed to acquire, because this is back in the day where every game's not televised and shit, right? Yeah, so you can't just get the footage or anything. Apart from like the replay, like the short recap they'd have on the news or whatever. And years later, I managed to acquire a video of the game that one of the Manly staff had recorded from the coach's box, so without commentary.
Yep.
And of course, obviously, that fucking tape that my old man sent me in Japan, like, that's fucking under a rice paddy somewhere, I would say. Like, but I mean, I wish I had the two so I could actually overlay one on the other to sync them up. But alas, if anyone can help a brother out, you know what to do.
Fuck yeah, beautiful.
Manly by 61. Knights versus the Panthers in Newcastle. You were telling me not to worry about the Cowboys being behind me. How about I just don't worry about the Knights? Put these cunts to death.
There you go.
Be done with them.
Done. Panthers 13 plus. Put your house
shortest favourites. I believe it's the shortest favourites of the round.
Are they?
The Panthers, I think so. 90. I'm seeing $1.25. Anyone who's $1.25 who can advance on $1.25?
I thought. Oh no. I thought
no,
the Titans
Sharks.
were.
No, Sharks are just worse than that. Which is strange.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I got Titans here on PointsBet, major sponsors of the Mighty Manly Seas Eagles. $1.62. I've got the Titans.
Yeah, well that's better than sports bet at $1.60. So
yeah.
There you go.
But this one also has the Knights at $4, which is by far the largest odds of any side this round.
Oof.
And look, who cares what the bookies have to say? I mean, Dylan Edwards returns to the side. Obviously, he's going to want to have a strong game because, presumably if he gets through this game okay and plays strong,
he just gets straight back in.
Hopefully, he gets his Origin position.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
So because I mean, you would assume so. Not saying anything about Dane Laurie. I mean, who did play very well, I thought. And he does.
Mate, I said it in the review. Dane Laurie is a great first grade quality fullback. He's not Dylan Edwards. And Dill's had season after season after season to hone his craft in that side.
Yeah, the thing about Dane Laurie, as well as he played at fullback, I hate him at 14.
Yeah.
I can't remember which game it was, but it was the first time we played? I can't remember.
Yep.
But he just got fucking drilled.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. He's not a 14.
Anyway, the Panthers, I mean, Fletcher Sharp, he gets his position again for the second week in a row. Armstrong's on the bench, in 22, but I think that's more just an indication that you're out of the wilderness. You're not you're not being outright
Yeah,
sent to Reggie's
that's
straight
it.
away. I mean, we are naming you in the extended squad.
Yep.
I just don't think it fucking matters.
No,
I
Penrith.
don't think Panthers have the. I don't think the Knights have the points in them, and I don't think they have the defense to stop them. And I'll tell you one thing:
Look, unless it's Golden Nuts revenge game, but even then, does he really want revenge?
Yeah, he doesn't want revenge.
No.
I mean, revenge games. Yeah, there's a very important requirement for revenge games, and it's the desire to achieve revenge. And I think he's got nothing but love.
He has to be venged first before he wants revenge.
He might lay down and make some business decisions for the homies.
Oh, love it.
All right, it's done.
That's us.
That's the round. That is us. You got anything else you want to?
No, it was fucking great doing an episode without getting abused off air.
Oh, and just
then
like
throughout
actually
the show,
just getting on the phone call and just being like, just everything being so cordial.
Yeah.
And no, just sullen. Then you get the sullen thing, and then you're like, "Are you all right, buddy? What's going on? Ah, you're a cunt. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
I'm angry, and it's your fault. It's like you'd imagine. It's like Taylan May. Look what you made me do. Shit's not fly. Come back soon, Glennie. We miss you.
Which is also the title of the Taylor Swift song. So he's like Taylan Swift. Anyway,
what a cunt. Fuck him.
Right, that's it then. We got nothing else to say.
We're done. Let's go. Keep your ear out for our mid-season reviews. A bunch of them are in the bag. They've been recorded. Yep. They were great to do. Thank you to everyone who stepped up and volunteered their time for it. Tell your friends, tell your family that you're making your fucking golden podcast debut on This Week in League. They'll all be dropping.
Yeah, like I got a batch of about half a dozen or something ready to roll. So I'm going to drop them as individual episodes, mostly just, so if like myself, if you don't give a fuck about hearing a Dragons person talk about how well their side, what they think about their side, or a fucking Eels, you don't have to listen to it. You can actually they'll be clearly titled about which team the review's for, and so listen to the ones you want. Patreon people are getting them first, so look out for those to hit your feeds. Starting from tomorrow.
Regardless of what you may think of clubs, or what you may think of their fans, give them a listen, because look, I was so fucking pleasantly surprised, and almost like I was, with Magic Round, how the first couple of times we went, the vibe there was so fucking good. It was just cunts who love footy.
Yep.
That's what every single one of these have been. People have, obviously there's some teams that are more disappointed than others, and other people that would like to be in better positions than they're in.
Yep.
But to a fucking man, everyone is a fan of their club. They've found the positives in their squad, and they speak pretty plainly about what they need to do to improve. So there were some fucking legends on there, and we'll start doing these more often, give the fans a bit of a voice, and then eventually we'll fuck off and leave these new people to get abused by Glennie.
Could you imagine if Glennie was doing it? This is massive abuse.
Like just actual lawsuits coming in the mail afterwards. Like, oh God, no. But that was great. Thank you to everyone that helped out. Thank you to everyone who volunteered as well. We'll do more in the future. Give everyone a chance to get on.
Nice.
That's us.
All right. See you next week.
Later.